Google Maps is amazing for helping you get around when you're not totally sure where you're going. But it's probably not the app you'd turn to for nutrition advice. Unfortunately, a short-lived calorie counting feature in Maps did just that. The update did grab a lot of attention online, but probably not for reasons the company was hoping for. The test feature showed how many calories users would burn if they followed directions in the walking mode. The basic idea certainly isn't new, and Armour's MapMyWalk already has this feature, for instance. But Google took things a step further by also showing users how many cupcakes they'd burn if they walked their route instead of driving. And, to make matters worse, users didn't sign up for this feature, it just showed up in their results along with their directions and couldn't be turned off. As you might imagine, a lot of people didn't exactly appreciate their route being translated into cupcake units. Even though this may have come from a good place, it could have had some unintended results. This information could be triggering for people dealing with disordered eating. Luckily, the company pulled the feature, telling Buzzfeed that they decided to yank it based on strong user feedback. We're talking about a lot of people who could be impacted by this, about 30 million people in the U.S. have an eating disorder, according to the National Association of Anorexia, Nervosa and Associated Disorders. This is reinforcing behaviors that we are trying to stop when we're treating a patient for an eating disorder, Michelle Lupkin, Ph.D., Clinical Director of the Eating Disorders Program at Montefiore Medical Center, tells SELF.And, according to Jennifer J. Thomas, Ph.D., co-director of the Eating Disorders Clinical and Research Program at Massachusetts General Hospital, using exercise or other behaviors to try to compensate for calories you eat is a hallmark of eating disorders, such as anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa. Even in people who aren't actively dealing with a disorder, thinking of food as something that needs to be earned actually promotes disordered eating, clinical psychologist John Mayer, Ph.D., author of Family Fit, Find Your Balance in Life, tells SELF.And, if someone is already experiencing these thought patterns, seeing it on such a popular app only reinforces that it's normal to think this way, Thomas says. Viewing food as integral in something as simple and mundane as walking directions gives it a magical power over your life, Mayer adds. Food should be a good, pleasant part of life, he says, but not a primary focus of life. It implies that foods like cupcakes need to be burned off instead of being part of a balanced diet, Thomas says. It also implies that some foods are good while others are bad, she says, and that can cause people to think that they're bad or wrong for having a sugary treat here and there. These thinking patterns can be a slippery slope. This mindset can easily turn into obsessive thinking about foods and exercises that can balance each other out, and restricting foods when one feels they haven't exercised or completed enough physical activity, Kelly Hogan, M.S.R.D., a clinical nutrition and wellness manager at the Dubin Breast Center at Mount Sinai Hospital who often works with people who have disordered eating habits, tells SELF.Instead, Thomas says it's more helpful to distance exercise from eating and focus on its own positive qualities. Think about how walking gives you an opportunity to spend more time outside, feel more energized, and improve your mood instead of how walking is going to burn cupcakes, she says. And when it comes to food, it's better to focus on having a healthy, balanced diet, which can absolutely include cupcakes, and making sure your body is healthy rather than obsessing over calories or the number on the scale. Look at food as fuel and energy, which is what it's meant to be, Lupkin says, rather than focusing on the specific in and out of calories. You may also like what everyone gets wrong about eating disorders.